All right. Well, we just got off stream, 7 hours. We tried the volume 7 of Need for Speed Unbound. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I will say the drag racing, perfect. It's great. It's just like Need for Speed Underground 2, where you could switch lanes and it like hooks into that lane. It's not like you were actually driving like a race, like it hooks in that lane like it used to 20 years ago. Perfect shifts are a little goofy. There's some things on the gauge, on the RPM gauge, it's curved, and then where the perfect shift is, the green line is not like, it doesn't match up with the needle. It's at an angle, and sometimes it looks like on the inside it'll be green. I'll put up a picture. On the inside it'll be like you'll hit the green spot for perfect shift, but then on the outer side it's like cocked up at an angle, and it has to be in green on both of them. So sometimes you go to perfect shift and you don't get the perfect shift because the gauge is weird. And even if you go by when the arrow turns green, sometimes it doesn't always go. And I did notice if you don't get a perfect launch, it seems like you can't get all the perfect shifts even if you get the perfect shift. So you kind of have to be perfect all the time to get all the perfect shifts for all the nitrous boosts, little boosts of speed, whatever. But drifting, that's going to be a different video. I'm not a fan of it. That's a whole thing. But I'm sure same meta cars are going to be a thing. It looks like that Buick Grand National drag car that I don't have is OP. I think it was whooping our ass. A to win, I guess, because now you got to buy it. I do have the Dark Horse unlocked. I don't have the drag spec unlocked because it's literally speed past 75, and we played for 7 hours and only got to 19. It's a little crazy. I've never paid for a speed pass, but I think that's an insane amount of time to sink for something you paid for. I think maybe like 10-15 hours max to get it, but at this point we don't even have the M3 unlocked yet. But I think this is just visual thing, obviously. But look, man, we named this the Dark Unicorn instead of the Dark Horse because it's, you know, cotton candy. But we don't have all the kits unlocked yet. But this thing, S plus, not good because you have to go 6-7 gears, and it just whop whop. It's hard to get perfect shift. So the lower amount of gears you can have, 4 or 5 gears, the better off you're going to be. It seems like, as far as what you want to do to tune them, whatever, it seems like high horsepower and top speed is what you're going for, right? I go full grip, all the way low on the downforce, so that way you can obviously get a better 0 to 60. And you'd think high downforce would get you better 0 to 60, but you want top speed and better 0 to 60. Traction control off, obviously. That's kind of what I got there. I don't think I'm going to do like drag builds. The cars seem to be the same. It looks like you cannot use the Regera or the Porsche Taycan at all, from what chat was saying. This thing, not good in S plus, okay? But S, this thing rips in S, okay? Let me go find it. Pretty much made it the same with different wheels. This in S is a monster. We were winning. It's easy. It has a great launch. I don't know how other cars are going to be. I think chat was saying like the Skyline Hakoska and one of the Volvos were really OP. I'm sure it's going to be the same meta cars. Some of like the Audi R8 was whooping our ass from time to time, but it all comes down to shifting. But I do think they really nailed it. So let's go do a PvP race, show you some drag racing. I mean, there's probably still going to be like meta cars, obviously. It also is going to come down to skill, come down to how you launch, if you can get the perfect launch. Now, when you do launch, at first I was trying to figure out, because it shows you the green part on the RPM gauge where the perfect shift is, and I kept going up to that thinking, all right, if I launch in that green, I'll get the perfect launch. No. And then I saw guys next to me, like, you know, their car outline was like red or white or whatever it turns. And I was like, how? There's no indication for where your car's RPMs are for the perfect launch, and every car is different. So you have to just go up and down the RPM range while in at the start of a drag to figure it out. I think I did the R34. It was at like 3,000. I think the Dark Horse is at like 5,000. Some cars are 6,000. Some are like 5.5. It's all over the place. It's every car is different, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to point out while editing, I was looking at the new big RPM gauge for like where to do, you know, a perfect launch, and I didn't even notice that the normal speedometer is down the bottom right, and it still has the little white spot where that's where you get your perfect launch. I just think that should be incorporated in the big new RPM strip, because that's what you're looking at for perfect shifts. You're not looking down at your speedometer like a normal race. You know what I mean? Like, you're not looking down there. So that's why, like, in the video, I was like, I don't know where each car launches at. I didn't even think to look down there. I just thought that it would all be up there on the new RPM gauge. It's not. So to get a perfect launch, look down there at your normal, you know, gauge, and then switch up and look at the other one, which that doesn't make any sense. They should fix that. But let's do some drag racing. Let's do it. I think out of everything that this is a good update. It does get old pretty quick. They did add a lot of tracks. There's like 37 tracks here. There's some really quick quarter-mile races that take 8 to 12 seconds, and the loading time in between the races seems to be really good. It's not like this shit where it takes forever to load. I think all in all, I would have liked to see more drag variants of the cars. I'm going to make a separate video about, I did 12, 11, and 10 on the Underground League. Gonna have I went on a rampage with that. It just feels right? But let's get into a race here. Of course it's B, so we're not gonna be able to use the Dark Horse right now. So, well, we'll just do it with the NSX. All right. So this will be a perfect example. It's hard to get a drag race. It's hard to get any race if you go into free roam, because everybody's just doing their own thing. But as you can see, we have 6 races here. It is quite a lot. But this also is a thing. You see how the tire stopped spinning? You can't feather the R2 button, like, you know, haptic feedback. It's not a thing. And see, like, there was no indication there. There was no indication. I'm just running my mouth. No indication where to shift for a perfect launch, or where to put the RPMs. None of that. But when you actually like change lanes, it's actually like, it's like the old days. It goes back and forth. It's not bad, right? Now this RPM gauge isn't crooked like some of them are. This one's fine for whatever reason. I think some cars are affected by that. Not all of them. It's really weird. But the only indication of where to launch is where the car lights up. But back to this. You can't like lightly hit the throttle. Nothing happens. You have to literally just keep tapping it to keep it in that range. And the wheel stops and starts. There we go. So this one's like right around 5, 6. So we got a perfect launch. We just finished our juice playthrough, so I was pressing X to shift. I had to move my fingers. But yeah. They really nailed this. I've had a lot of people that ram, a lot of people that will block you. It's really annoying when it happens. But yeah, when you're warming up your tires, it's not like Pro Street where like it keeps spinning even if you let off the gas, and like it's like a constant spin, like the tire's still burning. It just stops. Beep, 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 beep. And then, like, that kind of feels real dumb, you know, in my opinion. But let's see if we can get a better launch here. So there we go. This car is very easy to get perfect shifts on because the RPM gauge is not crooked. See, when you do everything perfectly, it's very easy to win. Even, I mean, some cars are going to be better than others, but, you know. Anyway, let's finish this and see if we can get a S tier. All right, 370, R8, and I don't know what the other one was. There we go, perfect launch, shift. One more and we can get boost. We're out of here. This thing is fast. In S, look at this thing rip. Gone. As you can see, this, oh my God, nice. Sometimes when you go to like move, sometimes it's real slow and other times it's snappy. I don't know. I don't know if it's just certain spots. I don't know how to explain it, but oh, it's a Viper. This thing is fast, but the perfect shift gauge on this one is more normal than some of the other ones I've seen, so it's a little easier. Too early. Too early. But still, even with missing a shift, still, this thing still rips. Nobody's touching us. Is this pay to win? Seems like it. But, I mean... Beep! The drag racing is fun. I will say that. My only gripe is also sometimes when you catch some air, some bumps, obviously your wheels come off the ground, your RPM spike. If you go to shift right when you hit a bump, sometimes the RPM spike and you'll miss your perfect shift. That's a problem. And there's no way, you can't really plan for that. There's no way to really plan for that, so yeah, let's do this again. See, like that was a perfect shift. I was in the green, but I didn't get it. Why? The same thing with that. It just doesn't seem consistent. Nice. That was my fault. But if you look, the meter is a little like crooked, at least in the green where the perfect shift is. And if you hit it like too early like that, it doesn't count. So it doesn't, that's the only thing I don't like about the drag. It's not, their meters are crooked and it doesn't, even though it says you're in the green and your arrows turn green, it doesn't always give you a perfect shift. So that's my only gripe with it. Besides that, I gotta say that this is a win. I mean, this also should have been in the game at launch. I mean, this, see again, where's my perfect shift? You know, it's a Need for Speed game. Drag has been in its pedigree for so long, you know? We shouldn't have to wait a year and a half to get a game mode that we had 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of you are like, well, at least they're still updating the game. Yeah, but like, you got to stop promoting and being happy about half-assed launch games with missing content and then getting it years later. Like, this is not okay. And like, yeah, this will keep your interest for a couple days to a week, but after that, it's not enough to keep me playing. I will say that. See, like there, it was in the green. Didn't get it. I don't. It's fucking weird. Like, there's times where I've done the drag race, nailed it every time. And there's other times where just like, I know I'm shifting in the green and nothing. Well, we got more races. Let's see if we can get it, but let's go. If you really break it down, I think it's just an issue in the game. It's not like I'm shifting or letting it bang off the red limit, or like shifting early or anything like that. Like I'm shifting right when I should. Like it almost seems like some cars have a sweet spot, and even though you're in the green, it's still likes you to shift at a certain RPM and not anywhere in the green. It's weird, right? It's just weird. All right, there we go. That's it. Dark Horse, pay to win. You know, it's a thing. All in all, they did good with the drag update for the most part. There's some things that, like I said, the shifting is kind of goofy on some cars, some more than others. But I mean, for what it is, this is a return to Underground. It goes back to switching lanes, that even when you crash and you have other people crash, and like I had people crash in front of me and like they hit and then they go flipping, like it's just like Underground 2. Like, oh, he took the other guy out. Crazy crashes, hitting the train, hitting traffic. It's they did a good job. It's not quite perfect, but they did a good job. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on the drag. It is fun for what it is. I'll make another video on the drifting, so come back for that. Anyway, you know the drill. Subscribe, come back. See you on the next one.